Hello, I'm Chris Bargle, and welcome back to another album review. Today we are going to be looking at Jeff Lynne's full solo album, 1990's Armchair Theatre. Excluding his role in Traveling Wilburys, this is the first real album Lynne has done since breaking up Electric Light Orchestra following the Balance of Power album. He seems to be suffering from some creative burnout on that album, but here he feels like he is slowly regaining some of his lost steam. To start with, I am going to be going through each song one by one, and then afterwards I will rate each song and give my thoughts on the album as a whole. Also, before we begin, I want to say that this is an album I've been meaning to review for a while, and recently I held a contest where the winner could pick my next album to review. The winner was the Cypher J Experience, who recommended this album. They were a fellow classic rock enjoyer, so I strongly recommend you check out the link to their YouTube in the description below. Now, without further ado, let's go on to the song-by-song breakdown. Every Little Thing is a great song to start off the album. There was quite a bit of pep here, and Jeff Lynne's lyrical knack for pop rock perfection is well on display. The song is a pretty simple romance song where Lynne urges the woman to tell him everything that makes her happy, but it manages to click together quite well. This is also one of the best produced songs on the album. The guitar is good, even if underutilized. You have a pretty good horn section, and of course the obligatory 80s saxophone. The backing vocals not as good as they were during Electric Light Orchestra's heyday with Kelly Grokut, but Jeff's overdubs managed to make it sound close enough. Don't Let Go is a rockabilly cover song. It doesn't really fulfill any purpose other than being a cheesy album filler song. Meh. Lift Me Up has pretty standard 80s production with a semi-nostalgic rolling synth line that's unimaginative, but kind of cool in its retro vibe. George Harrison is also in there on slide guitar, but it does kind of feel like an afterthought to the synth. The song also features Harrison on backing vocals as well. The lyrics are pretty standard, but work quite well. The song is just kind of a standard love song, but pleasing nonetheless. Jeff Lynne has often made more with less in the past, and does so once again here. Nobody Home is a song that's built around this metaphor of nobody being in a house, being similar to nowhere, saying no spark or interest in the woman he is talking to. It is not a bad concept, but the lyrics aren't the sharpest Lynne has ever done, and the backing is pretty basic. September Song sees Jeff Lynne covering an old standard from the late 1930s. It is a pretty good song, and Jeff Lynne singing on it is actually quite good. George Harrison's slide guitar solo is, while not overly memorable, a welcome addition that helps add a peaceful feeling to the song. Now You're Gone is a song with some Indian vocalists at the beginning, as well as a violin solo by an Indian musician. These elements feel quite superficial, as the rest of the song is just a rather simple breakup song. Outside the violin solo and the opening and ending vocal parts on the song, it doesn't even really cross into genre exercise territory. The Indian aesthetic just feels tacked on. Additionally, I also cannot help but find it humorous that the one song of some with all the quote-unquote Indian aesthetics is one of the songs that does not have George Harrison on it. Now, before we go on to slide 2 of the album, I want to remind you that if you like this style of album review, to please like this video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and be sure to hit that bell button, as all these things help me out a great deal. Starting off side 2, we have Don't Say Goodbye. This song is lyrically another standard love/breakup song, but it does have a couple of good points. The part that really sells the song is the song verses, where Jeff Lynne does a Roy Orbison-style vocal that soars unsurprisingly well, something that was probably inspired by Jeff Lynne's work with Roy Orbison in Traveling Wilburys and Orbison's solo career around this time. What Would It Take starts off with some nice guitar notes that repeat a few times throughout the song. The lead vocal is good, and the song is suitably catchy despite being another that features relatively unmemorable lyrics, at least by Lynne's high standard. Stormy Weather is another 40s cover song, but one that feels less effective than September Song. There wasn't anything wrong with it, but Lynne's vocal feels a good deal less inspired this time. Blown Away is the only song on the album that isn't either a cover song or a solo Lynne composition. This song is credited to both Lynne and Tom Petty, and was probably written around the same time Lynne and Petty wrote songs for Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever album. The lyrics are some of the best on this album, with a nice down-to-earth feel to them. Yes, it is another love song, and there are plenty of songs out there that talk about love and the passage of time, but the lyrics here do click together quite well. Lynne's vocal isn't his best on the album, but it is one of the stronger performances he has given us this album. The production is otherwise pretty standard, but for some reason this song features Del Shannon on backing vocals. I cannot imagine a more bizarrely mundane underutilization of a guest star than this, as even if you know Del Shannon is on here, you still can't really pick him out in the mix. It does not really impact the rest of the song, but does feel like a rare instance of Jeff Lynne dropping the ball on what seems like a no-brainer. Save Me Now is a suitable note to end the album off on. The song is a Bob Dylan-esque folk song with an environmentalist theme. The song is basically told from the point of view of the Earth as it is being damaged over time. This sort of folk rock territory isn't something where you have really seen Jeff Lynne go before, but it works surprisingly well. The acoustic backing is basic, but the haggled folk style of singing utilizes a dimension in Lynne's voice that we really haven't seen since the album Electric Light Orchestra 2 came out 17 years prior. Alright, for my final song rankings, I give Every Little Thing, 8 out of 10. Don't Let Go, 5 out of 10. Lift Me Up, 7 out of 10. Nobody Home, 5 out of 10. September Song, 6 out of 10. Now You're Gone, 5 out of 10. Don't Say Goodbye, 6 out of 10. What Would It Take, 6 out of 10. Stormy Weather, 5 out of 10. Blown Away, 7 out of 10. Save Me Now, 7 out of 10. This album feels very much unfocused to me. Jeff Lynne's vocals alternate between good and passable. The production suffers from late 80s sensibilities and is overly reliant on synth dressed up with a modest amount of guitar and hardly any bass. Outside of the Indian violin solo on Now You're Gone, there are not really any strings featured throughout the album, although this was probably intentional as a way to make the album seem separate from ELO's catalog. Despite that, however, Lynne uses the same vocal tricks as he did in the late 70s, although George Harrison and Del Shannon were far from fitting substitutes for Kelly Gurkut. Overall, I would say this album is a solid 6 out of 10. It is good, but not great, although perhaps a fair bit better than Balance of Power. Okay, now last but not least, we will look at the sleeve of the album, as I do always like to go over the packaging and give my thoughts. So, here is a really nice picture. Jeff Lynne sitting on an armchair, kind of by the seaside, with some boards, seagulls, I guess. Nice, kind of deep blue sky you got going on. The water looks pretty nice. The sand looks, honestly, a little more gravelly than sand, but whatever. Pretty nice photo there. Quite like the colors. The back's a bit basic. It's just got this cream color with this white border, and then you got kind of these weird kind of stripes, and then a kind of full-length version of the front cover photo. Pretty basic there, but this was 1990, so 1990 and vinyl records, you know. Pretty basic on the liner. This side has the track listing with the notes. And this side literally just has the track listing as well as some other notes. So yeah, they didn't really make the best use of the space of the liner. And I will say the record is on this tricolor reprise logo. This isn't the same tricolor, the one they used in the 60s. This is a different tricolor reprise logo that features different colors as well as a bit more impressionistic art style. Don't really know what to say there, but overall I think the front of the cover looks pretty good, but the rest of it is pretty minimum, so bare minimum, so yeah. Still pretty nice. It gets the job done, I suppose, especially with it being this late in vinyl record's original lifespan, you know, 1990. So yeah. If you like this video, of course, I want to once again urge you to like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications when I upload, as I do have a lot more album reviews coming up, as well as other music and vinyl record related videos. And I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.